welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. As predicted, I'm a little tired today. It's day 4 of a 5-day introduction to animation course, and it's been brilliant. I have to say, I'm thoroughly enjoying it, if I could actually say the word. Thoroughly enjoying it. And I've been introduced to so many people, and I've learned so much more about the animation industry. I think I spoke a little bit about Monday. So that was people from Flaming, which is Flamin. They came to speak to us on Monday. On Tuesday was kind of CV stuff and more introductions to parts of the industry. And they were very young on Tuesday. Wednesday, yesterday, they were a little bit later in their career. And then today was the older contingent. It's the only way to put it. Now, I don't think it was designed that way. It just seems to have happened that way. And by far the most engaging for me personally was yesterday. I'm just blown away. We had let me find the notes here. We had the head of production for Blink Inc. and we had a producer at Paramount came and spoke to us. And the producer, it was amazing. I was sitting there writing his name down because I wrote the name of each speaker down. And I thought, Ramsey McBean. Where have I heard that name before? I know this name. And then, of course, he came and talked to us, and he's the producer on the Ninja Turtle movie that was on last year, and he's now doing the sequel to that. And I remember seeing his name because I'm very interested in any animation. I always read all the credits and I like to see how many animators they have on it and so on and so forth. So I actually remember his name because it's a really unusual name. And he's a really interesting mix. He was born in Thailand. I've got to get this right now. He grew up in New York. His parents are English and Scottish. And then he studied in Scotland and London, and then subsequently has settled down in London. But he is now actually working on a role in LA, so he has to work quite late. He works through the night. His day is turned around a bit. But he was fascinating. I can't say that I'd want to do what he does. I think I've pretty much ruled out being a producer because to me, that is just project management. That's what you get in IT. And today was very interesting. Like I say, the speakers were older, and one of them was winding me up a bit actually because he kept going on about I'm old. He obviously thought he had a room full of teenagers, and the reality is he and I were born in the same year. So it's like, please behave yourself. I am not old. I don't consider myself old. Quit with the old stuff. And that did seem to be the theme today, but then it was the introduction to stop motion, and I'm wondering whether perhaps that is just an older technology. You know, obviously don't say that to Aardman. In the afternoon we went to have a tour of a studio, an animation studio. I'm not going to say who it is because they made us sign an NDA. I think it would be fine. I read the NDA, of course, because I'm like that. And I'm not impressed because it should have been countersigned and we should have had a copy. And they dated it 2 days before we even arrived at the studio. So I'm not really that impressed by that. But it showed me to be grateful for what I do have. I'm always moaning about working in an office when I do work. Obviously, I'm not working at the moment. But when I do, I'm working in an office and it's like, just don't like this. I want a creative job. I swear to you that office looked exactly the same as any other office I've worked in. They all had double screens and they all looked pale, and I just thought, no, this is not for me. This, actually being an animator, because it's all technology now, isn't it? I think that's what makes Aardman appealing. And to be honest, this studio I went to today does do stop mo. But what we saw was all just people sat at computer screens. And I thought, yeah, it's exactly the same life, but probably for a third of the salary, if we're being completely honest. So I don't think animating is for me as an animator. I don't think animating for me is as a producer. But I probably would be interested in being a director. I think that would be quite good to have the vision of something. I'm still not 100% sure I know exactly what all these different roles do, but I know a lot more now than I did at the beginning of the week. The other point of note is that I applied for this course and I sort of went, well, I was tired and I honestly can't remember what I said or what I had to answer. But I got the email saying that I'd been accepted and I just thought, yeah, they accept everyone. They don't. They had over 90 applications and they had 25 places and I was one of them. So we were told that on Monday. I forgot to tell you that, but it's like, that made me feel so special. That, and I am one of the oldest in the room. Let's face it. But hey, I don't look it. That's what counts. We are now working on a group project, which I'm finding a little challenging. I mean, something all the speakers kept saying was, you got to have a good attitude, you got to lean in, you got to, all that sort of networking stuff. And I'm struggling, I'll be honest. I'm struggling with what my team are deciding on. And when I say team deciding on, I don't think it's really a team effort. I think it's one or two voices are deciding and perhaps the rest of us are just around the edge. And it's interesting that can see where it's going for me. I'm going to be in charge of the budget and reporting on the budget and all the crap that I do at work. It's like, I didn't come here to do the same thing that I do day in, day out, because no one else has got a Scooby on how to build a financial model. And I haven't when it comes to animation, to be honest, but I'll have it go. And I'm probably better in that place because I genuinely do not approve of the product they are proposing to create. We basically have to pitch an idea and we have to do a 10-minute presentation and we have to do the budget and so on and so forth. And we've gone down a zombie route, which I'm very happy with. And I can't say that, that wasn't an idea I threw in at the beginning. But we've gone down a very strange route that I can't get on board with. And I just think, well, how can you not be a dick? That seemed to be the message of the week is don't be a dick, be nice, get on with people, lean in. And you just think, you're talking about eating babies because this is what's being proposed. I feel a dick. Even though it's made up, it's totally made up, I'm struggling to get on board with this. So there you are, that's my week, and you'll find out Monday exactly what the end product was and how the presentation went. Much love and gratitude.